So there was a lot of questions about whether Donald Trump was going to soften his stance on immigration, on the wall, and the deportation force. He went to Mexico yesterday, and I said that that was actually a smart, savvy political move on his part. Talked to the president there and came across somewhat sane. I mean, he still sounded like a child, but at least he didn't say anything outrageous there, and he stood there with another foreign leader, and it was a nice moment for him. So he then, afterwards, he's going to go give a big speech in Arizona about immigration. And so people are wondering, okay, here we go. Is this the pivot where he becomes the softer, gentler Donald Trump? And there's good reason for it, because when you look at the numbers, you see why so many of his political advisors have been telling him to soften his image on this front. Mediaite explains on the question of whether we should deport as many illegal immigrants as possible or provide a path to legalization, a whopping 77% favor the latter, while only 19% favor mass deportation. So think about that. His idea of mass deportation is incredibly unpopular, only 19%. 77% say pathway to legalization. That's what the right wing calls amnesty. That's 77% of the country. That's who he's trying to go against while trying to become president of this country. And it's not just Democrats and independents. They say almost half of Republicans would more likely support Trump if he softens, while 34% of independents would do the same. So even Republicans, half of them saying, by God, make it, be reasonable. You're not going to deport 11 million people out of this country. So which way did Trump go? Well, first let me read you a summary from Huffington Post, and you're going to get to hear himself from Donald Trump. We've got a great video on him. They explained that in response to this perceived threat of immigration, Trump proposed a 10-point plan that would, among other things, build a wall across the United States southern border, create a deportation task force within the Department of Homeland Security, triple the number of immigration and customs enforcement agents, immediately begin deporting 2 million what he called criminal aliens. Trump did not say how he planned to pay for these initiatives. Of course. He never says how he's going to pay for it. So does that sound like he softened anything? No. He went the other way. Now look, this is part of why we call him Loser Donald. So here's a guy who sees that 77% of the country is against him, goes, I don't care. Yeah, I'm going to go further in that direction. Genius move, Einstein. Okay, so first of all, he is going to be very clear about the deportation. Watch.
We will begin moving them out day one, as soon as I take office, day one. They don't come in here. They don't come in here. Day one, my first hour in office, those people are gone. We will take them great distances, but we will take them to the country where they came from, okay? And you can call it deported if you want. The press doesn't like that term. You can call it whatever the hell you want. They're gone. They're going out fast. But their days have run out in this country. The crime will stop. They're going to be gone. It will be over. We will issue detainers for illegal immigrants who are arrested for any crime whatsoever, and they will be placed into immediate removal proceedings if we even have to do that.
So the softening on the deportation task force? Oh no. There's a hardening. Sounds gross. Okay, so they're gone. They're gone. Not only are they gone, we're going to carry them great distances. I don't know what the need for that is. Are we bringing them down to Argentina? Why are we creating more expense by carrying them to great distances? And he begins to talk about the crime. There's a lot more where that came from. But now we go to the wall. Let's hear him out on this.
Are you ready? Are you ready? We will build a great wall along the southern border. And Mexico will pay for the wall. 100%. They don't know it yet, but they're going to pay for the wall. And they're great people and great leaders, but they're going to pay for the wall. On day one, we will begin working on an impenetrable, physical, tall, powerful, beautiful southern border wall. We will use the best technology, including above and below ground sensors, that's the tunnels. Remember that, above and below. Above and below ground sensors.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they're going to be above and below. JR was saying here, like, he's our producer who put all this together. He was saying, like, it looks like WWE. He's like, are you guys ready? Right? Oh yeah, right? And he's like, you know who's going to pay for it? Mexico's going to pay for it.
You got to please believe me.
Please believe me. He says the same thing. And that's interesting, though, because Donald Trump, just hours earlier, was in Mexico. He had a joint press conference with the president there. He could have said it right then and there. They asked him about it, the reporters did. And he said, oh, we didn't talk about it. That wasn't mentioned at all. Later, President Peña said, no, we did talk about it, and I told him we were definitely not going to pay for it. Well, hey, tough guy, you're in front of your own WWE crowd. When you were with the president of Mexico, why didn't you say, yeah, you're going to pay for it. I'm going to make you pay for it. Why didn't you say that? Well, apparently you're not as tough in person as you'd like to pretend you are in your cocoon of right-wing crazies. It's going to be a powerful, beautiful wall. You can't go above it or under it. Okay, now we go to a discussion of these people.
We have no idea who these people are, where they come from. But the police and law enforcement, they know who these people are. They live with these people. They get mocked by these people. They can't do anything about these people. They know who these people are. Those people are gone.
Nails on a chalkboard, man. You're going to go try to get Latino voters after. We know who these people are. The cops know who these people are. They're going to go get them. Wait a minute. If the cops know a crime's been committed, are they not doing their job in arresting them? Everybody wants to arrest someone who has committed a criminal act. 100% of Americans are in favor of that. Are you saying that the cops are derelict of duty and not doing their job? Or are you saying, no, they're not really criminals, they didn't do anything wrong, but they're these people, and the cops know who these people are. And when I get into office on day one, we're going to do something about these people. If you thought his approval ratings among Latinos couldn't get lower, I think you're about to be proven wrong. They're going to go lower. So now finally, all that was not enough. We have to talk about how they're criminals and aliens. Go ahead, Mr. Trump.
Zero tolerance for criminal aliens. Zero. There are at least 2 million, think of it, criminal aliens now inside of our country. 2 million people, criminal aliens. And there are vast numbers of additional criminal illegal immigrants who have fled. Non-enforcement policies that allow thousands of criminal aliens to freely roam our streets, walk around, do whatever they want to do, crime all over the place. 300,000 criminal aliens to return back into United States communities, to remove criminal aliens immediately. That criminal aliens convicted of illegal reentry to ensure that criminal immigrants and terrorists are swiftly, really swiftly, focused on identifying and quickly removing the most dangerous criminal illegal immigrants in America, and our local police will be so happy that they don't have to be abused by these thugs anymore. Large numbers of violent criminals, they won't take them back. So we say, okay, we'll keep them. The release of thousands and thousands of dangerous criminal aliens who should have been sent home to their countries. Instead, we have them all over the place. Probably a couple in this room, as a matter of fact. But I hope not.
And that is, don't say you weren't warned. And I'm not talking about me warning you. I'm talking about him. He just said it. So if he gets elected, don't turn around and tell me, well, we didn't know what he was going to do. We didn't think he was serious. He made his intentions very, very clear there. We did not repeat any of the times he said criminal aliens. Those are all individual times that he said criminal aliens, criminal aliens, criminal aliens. They're all among us. They might even be in this room. Why would a criminal undocumented immigrant be at a Trump rally? Now, you know what he means. You also know what he means when he says thugs. We know what that reference is when he says these people. You think he's just talking about undocumented immigrants who committed crimes? Fact checkers looked into it. I mean, it's obvious, but they bothered to look into it. Has the Obama administration really taken undocumented immigrants who are proven criminals and released them into the streets, and that crime is all over the place because of it? Of course not. Of course not. He just made that up. He makes everything up. Let me look. You can dissect almost every line of his speech and show the nonsense that's in it. I'll just give you a couple of examples here from PolitiFact. So they looked into the speech. Trump says in the speech, the truth is the central issue is not the needs of 11 million immigrants or however many there may be. And honestly, we've been hearing that number for years. It's always 11 million. Our government has no idea. It could be 3 million. It could be 30 million. They have no idea what the number is. You want to know how Donald Trump, when he's going to lie? When he says honestly. Okay, so PolitiFact looks into it and they say, no, that's not true. The Department of Homeland Security says the number of illegal immigrants was about 11.4 million as of January 2012. That's a very specific number, and they do measure it. Other independent groups that research illegal immigration put the number between 11 and 12 million people. So everyone agrees that has actually studied it. Has Trump studied it? Of course not. Here's Mark Rosenblum of the Migration Policy Institute. It's a think tank that doesn't take positions on immigration legislation. He said that the 30 million number is, quote, a totally absurd number. That's because it comes from the absurd mind of Donald Trump. 3 million, 30 million, I don't know. Ann Coulter later tweeted it might be 60 million. As long as we're making up numbers, what difference does it make? Yeah, maybe the entire country is illegal aliens or criminals. Insanity. Okay, another quote from Trump. He says, President Obama and Hillary Clinton have engaged in gross dereliction of duty by surrendering the safety of the American people to open borders. And you know it's better than better than anybody right here in Arizona. You know it. Okay. PolitiFact says also untrue. There is another inaccurate claim repeated by Trump and his surrogates. Under President Barack Obama, deportations of undocumented immigrants have reached record highs. Even that population has fallen that population has fallen in recent years. And it was not the role of the Clinton State Department to enforce the nation's immigration policies. So understand the two things there. He's like, oh, it's Obama and Clinton. Clinton was the Secretary of State. Doesn't have anything to do with enforcing the borders. Nothing to do at all. Now, on Obama, that's a demonstrable fact. How many people did he deport? He broke a record. George W. Bush did not deport anywhere near as many people as Barack Obama. A lot of progressives, including myself, greatly criticize him for that. But in Trump's fantasy world, Obama didn't deport anybody. In fact, he took the criminals that we know are criminals and put them all over the place. You know what that is? It's a lie, because the guy's a liar. It's not that complicated. So finally, I like how PolitiFact bothered to discuss whether our borders are actually open. You know, they used to be. They explain the history behind it. Open borders existed before 1875, when there were no federal restrictions on immigrating to the country. The United States had immigration restrictions from 1875 to 1924 without a border patrol, which was created in 1924. So yes, we have a border patrol. We've had it since 1924. Yes, we have closed borders, and we have since 1875. But nonetheless, Donald Trump says that. By the way, before 1875, we had open borders, because who was coming in before 1875? Largely white people from Europe. Back then, we had no problems with open borders. In fact, let me show you the first undocumented immigrant. Oh, yeah. That guy didn't have any papers when he came in either. Okay. So we have our answer. There is no pivot. Donald Trump has, if anything, doubled down on his hateful immigration policies. And by the way, his completely undoable idea of deporting 11 million people in the country. He says he's going to deport 2 million first on day one. Really? On day one, you're going to deport 2 million people? Who believes this guy, even if you're a conservative? You know that Rush Limbaugh the other day said, oh, come on now, I don't really take him seriously. Let's support him, but don't believe anything he says. Oh, well, thank you for the honesty on that. He's playing you for a fool if you're a conservative. He's not going to do any of that. He couldn't do it even if he wanted to. He has nothing but a history of incompetence. So at least as far as intentions, that's it. There's no more waffling, and he can say he's going to soften, and he will, yes, no question, say things that are the complete opposite of this later. But this was the speech. They told everybody, pay attention to this. This is what he actually means. Here's his 10-point plan. No, he believes that these people have to go, and they've got to go right away. And you know who these people are. If you're upset with mainstream media, we have the alternative for you. Come build independent media with us. Your membership powers the Young Turks. tytnetwork.com/join.